So once again, we're entrapped in an ideology of a one-state party throughout the world since World War II in the collective of the League of Nations from the beginning of the World War One, which is a scam. It's an entrapment of people's rights and so on. They're trying to make it so glorified, like they're really there helping the people, but truly we can see the outcome since the Second World War, where this has led us to. And it's quite obvious what's going on, that pretty much almost every nation is under this global construct that we are all calling the New World Order. And the problem is that we do have a one state party in pretty much every freaking country, where people think that they're voting for a candidate, but in fact, the deep state, it doesn't matter if the electoral is a Republican or a Democrat. They have the same foreign and domestic policies. Everything is working out horribly bad, obviously. And pretty much we can see that Bolton is the fucking president in his actions and how, yeah, let's go talk to him and see what he's got to say. In the, you know what, lobby. You know who we're bowing to. We all know what is going on, most of us, if you read. If you listen to the fervor from people, people know what's going on, and they know who is doing this for the most part. But since there is a fear out there, there is, and this fear is even ratcheting up even worse. As we can see that our little friend in the East is trying to have laws passed in this country that we can't boycott them, we can't say anything about them, blah, blah, blah. You know, these are the same Bolshevik revolutionary fucking acts that was done once upon a time. And you know what that led to? Millions upon millions of fucking people getting murdered. Yeah, by a small group of people. That's really what it did, and that's a fact. And, you know, we got a clique, international clique. Somebody spoke about it out before and got murdered. Yep. You know, people, who you think your friends are aren't your friends. And who you think your enemies may be might be your friends. You know, most of us around the world all have a camaraderie of the same kind of outlook that we want in life. And then we have this third party involved that's always in our fucking way. It always has been. It's called the powers to the be. And it seems that we have been being misled down a road constantly, believing into this fucking hogwash of the controllers. And some of us, not all of us, because I've noticed that most of us seem to be, hold on one second. Most of us seem to be enjoying this entrapment for some reason. They think that there's nothing better than this. They always think that the alternative from this is going to be even worse. You know, it can't get any fucking worse, tell you the truth. We're at the worst level it can be, and not maybe at this per second at this moment, but in this form of what we're doing, we're at the vilest part of it. And you can see it because of technology. And it's allowing these people to do the most disgusting things on the planet ever than ever before, including mass murdering people. The next round of mass murder is going to be nothing like it was before, ladies and gentlemen, because of technology. Look at these piranhas, these war pigs, these psychopathic, mentally inept human beings that are causing this, which are the ones at the top. Us little shits don't cause none of this. We have no action on pushing the buttons and pulling the levers. And if we are, we're one of the peons that's taking the orders to do it. And we're supporting this fucking insanity, ladies and gentlemen. And we've come to a sector of society right now that there's only one way to turn at this point. And unfortunately, it's going to be ugly. And to get to anywhere that is any good in society on a global scale, this isn't about countries anymore, people. This is about a clique that controls, and it's all a part of the same thing around the globe. It isn't far-reached anymore. There isn't any countries that haven't been touched by this monstrous of a beast that is highly dangerous to humanity, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the thing that we're not looking at. The very beast we're feeding is the very problem that we're creating with these people. And we're the suckers are going to be the losers in this. Not them. Now, see, here's the thing that most of us can't accept as reality. All along, the bad people have been in charge. I know, and it's a hard fucking pill to swallow. I mean, it seems like it's a pill this fucking big. You can't even fit it in your mouth. But it's a true reality. The very people who are in charge are the bad people. And there's a reason for that. You know that. Look, good people don't want to tell people what to do. They don't want to have to enforce somebody to do something because they know that if they have to force them to do it, that can't be good. And whatever is good in life, you really don't have to force people, believe me. And all of you psychopathic people that work in governments and everything, you're a problem. You're a fucking direct problem. I blame you and all your fucking co-conspirators for every ill in the fucking world because you're the ones that push the buttons. You're the ones that get up there and say the fucking words. And you're the ones that get the people to fund it. So you are the very existence of the problem. It's not the people. Oh, they voted me in. Bullshit. You're psychopathic, fucking narcissistic shit. Comes right from you people. And that's a fact. That is an absolute fact. And we're not addressing this, ladies and gentlemen. The very problem, as I continue to say, is the very people that are our fucking leaders, our congressmen, our senators. Psychopathic people seek positions of power. Okay? We can argue about doomsday and all this shit. We can argue until we're blue in the face who should be sitting up in office because we do need some management, right? Right. But we don't need this kind of management. This is the worst kind of management of all. And then you have a problem in the world right now that every country is being proliferated with migration. And then these people are getting into these governments and it's causing even more of a disruption. Look, it's a great thing to embrace your culture and everybody should. And everybody should be proud of who they are and what they come from, for good or bad. You should be very, very happy to be who you are. And unfortunately, we have groups of people that have been going around and making a bad name for some people, okay? Every country has its dark past, believe me. And every country throughout time has done dirty deeds. So we can't just sit there and start fingering and pointing at each other like you're the bad guy only. No, bullshit. Look in every nation's past. It's fucked. It's really fucked. And we could sit there and blame deities and fucking other realities that we can't even fucking explain and see or even touch or even fucking hear of. Seriously. I can go pray in the corner till I'm blue in the face. Or I can get out of that corner and start moving and making this shit happen. So, without action, there is no prayer. Prayer without action is the worst of the kind. Absolutely. You are the divine of the creation. You are what everything that you read that you don't believe that's within you. It's time to wake up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to let these people run us into muck, mass murder each other. Really. It's sick. The very people in charge are the sick, the worst of the kind. I'm telling you, I've been telling this fucking ever since I was a little kid. I saw it when I was a child, when I'd watch TV with my folks and watch the news. I used to tell them those people were lying. They're bad, bad people. You're supporting the wrong people. It's like you're captured. And every time that somebody out of the circle comes in, you try to explain to them what's happening to you, and they don't believe you. But it's really happening. And they don't believe you until it's too late. It's too late for them to even do anything about it, to stop it, or anything. And that's where we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're at that point right now. We have an opportunity to stop the criminals in governments, in the buildings called governments. There is no government. Think about it. What is government? It's a building. It's a mind. It's just a belief. And it's those people in those governments that are actually doing these things. It's not the government, okay? It's not some fucking thing that you can't see. It's just a fucking building with a name on it. It's the people that comprise that inside those halls. And they are directly the blame for all of the ills that are happening in the world. There's not one particular group of people in these buildings of the halls, what we call government. Every one of them in every nation are all co-conspirating with each other. I know that's another one that's hard for you to swallow. But don't they all meet at places? Don't they have secret meetings globally? Yes, and you see our president shaking somebody else's president's hand and so on and so on. And they all get together in these big parties and blah, 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 blah. And then put on a good show like they're civil beings and they're making good gestures and they're talking good shit and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Don't you realize it's a show, baby? Don't you realize, and I'm going to say this again, that they are fucking criminals. And you're fucking believing in them, supporting in them, trusting them. And they're getting us killed. I can't say this enough. They are the very ones creating these problems. While we get up every day to go to work and try to make a fucking living and pay our fucking bills, while these guys are creating fucking havoc around the world, causing mayhem. Yeah. Keep believing these people. Keep following these people. Because obviously I haven't learned in all these years. The very people that you follow those are the guys you need to be whacking. Dead serious. If you're going to be fighting anybody, you should be fighting the fucking people that are sending you out to fucking war. Around the world, people. Your own people, your own governments are your enemies. All of our governments are our enemies. They are the very fucking enemy to humanity, believe me. More people have died in the name of government or in the name of some fucking royal or some empire. And look at America now. We're no different than a colonial empire of fucking Britain. It's an extension. And if we think that we're a country of peace, because we're told that all the time. That's why we think that we're so fucking high and mighty, that we think that we can go around the world and police everybody. A peaceful nation doesn't do that. I'm not saying don't fucking have a military. I'm not saying a lot of things. What I'm saying is what we have currently and for some time is what I'm talking about. It's not what it should be or what it could be. It's what we have currently. That's the problem. What currently is in place that is working isn't working. It's quite obvious. Just look around the world. It's pretty disrupted right now. And by why? And by whom? And by what policies created this mess? This chaotic mess that's going on. Yeah. We all know who to blame, but we're just too shameful because we feel like I don't want to be a part of something I've been a part of to help get it to this far already. Don't feel bad. You've been fooled. You've been conned. You've been bamboozled. From even birth, most of us have. Some of us see things in a reality that's beyond this circle. And this is why we talk about it. Because we see it. Because we don't want to be a part of it. Not this particular situation. Not this particular construct and not this particular way of doing things. Believe me. Mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't get away from this particular construct of fucking society and don't listen to all the hogwash people who think that they're going to give you freebies and all this and somebody else is going to pay for it, it ain't going to happen. Believe me, you can't steal from somebody else to support somebody else. It ain't, in the long run, it's just going to implode. This is why these programs and these ideologies don't work. Okay? They just don't work. Till we want to, out of our own goodness of our hearts, want to help each other. Having a government to force each other to help each other and then call it fucking the humanity way to live, that's not going to work either. Because you have a sector of society that's being robbed to call that. And they're going to feel like they're the fucking short-handed ones. So you're always going to have a disruption. And it has to naturally work. If it doesn't naturally work, it ain't going to work. It's always going to have a fallout that is disgusting. This is why what is happening only benefits a few. When we realize that it only benefits a few and not the rest, because they keep telling us they're doing it to fucking benefit everybody else. From what I see, what happens is millions of people end up dying when we listen to these people. I mean, come on. You can't disagree with what I'm saying. Every time we listen to people, the criminals in government, people die on a grand scale. No one murderer, single-handed man or woman has ever mass murdered the amount of people on the scale that the people in government created in the name of government. Yep. And that's a fact. You could take even Alexander the Great, or we could go with other people. I mean, Ivan or the Terrible or Genghis Khan. There's no way that they could ever hand to hand and all that shit back then have ever mass murdered the amount of people we have since the 1900s. Yeah. And we think this is a fucking tradition. Gotta send your kids to the fucking military so you can go off and die. Sacrifice your life for who? And for what? So some old bastard can fucking rake in money on the military complex? Are you that foolish? All they have to do is create a boogeyman and you're fucking right there ready to fucking jump on them, aren't you? It's a fucking amazing how easy humanity can be manipulated by a fucking handful of fucking criminal, psychopathic people that run our fucking countries. You know, in this world we live in today, by the time you get to be an old person, you want to fucking die. You want to get the fuck out of this fucking insane, fucked up world. Because it is. And we're allowing it. Good people are allowing that. I know. Believe me, I know. Oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? There's a lot of answers. Stop complying. Stop supporting these bastards. Stop working in their fucking factories. Man, unless you just want to, we can be just like them. We can collect them up, mass murder them, just like they'd con us into mass murdering each other when we actually did nothing to each other. You know that? That's a fact. So, comes to my conclusion that we definitely have a lot of growing up to do. And what I say is humanity is still in its infancy. Because until the children grow up enough to go after these bastards that tell you they know better and this and that, they're just fucking lining their pockets and laughing all the way to the fucking bank, people. I'm telling you. Look, are you doing as good as most of these people working in government? Nope. Do you get a pension for the rest of your life with full medical benefits? Nope. Can you work 4 years and then get a pension for the rest of your life? I mean, these guys got it made. No wonder that everybody would. I'd like to be a politician too, so I can have those benefits. I mean, see how foolish we are? Somebody that works for, who in the fucking real world do you know that can work for 4 fucking years and get that fucking pension for the rest of their life with medical benefits? And we work so hard part-time for you people. See the insanity in this? Yeah. They should be only getting benefits while they're working for us as servants of the people. As soon as they leave office, all those benefits should be terminated. Period. It's an honor to serve your people. Why don't you just serve for free, you rich bastards? You fucking low-life son of a bitches. There's gonna come a day, you watch, in humanity, when we hunt all you motherfuckers down and string you from the fucking trees, the nearest posts, or even bury you alive. It's gonna happen. Everything in life comes full circle. Powers to be. Trust me, what you're creating is gonna be your own enemy. You haven't learned yet, throughout all of the centuries, what you're doing always backfires. The monster you're building is going to be the monster that's going to devour you. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And whoever has front row seat, I envy them to get to watch this. Maybe in our time or maybe in another time. But mark my words, I may be here or I may not be here. But what I had said is going to happen. When you create bad things and you benefit from these bad things, and then others down the line, further down the line, we send our children further down the line. I heard a saying, the initiators of the sins send their children further down the line as they meet up together. And then they do the same thing to each other. This is a continuous, history is repeating itself. This is just a continuing of the problems from generation to generation. And each generation picks up the last generation's problems and starts in on it. And then they create their own problems on top of that. And then that next generation has to deal with that when they didn't even create these problems. Everyone was born into a fucking problem that they have to deal with that they never created. It's just like going to war. No one that serves in the military created that problem. It's only the people at the top that created that problem. It's not about a nation. It's not about our countries. It's not about a piece of property. It's about resources and resources only, which is control. And when you can control the resources, you can control the people. And this is what these madmen, mentally ill, inept, psychopathic murderers do. I'm going to close this. I want you guys to think about what I said. I want you to think about how bad these people are. Every one of them, including your president right now, is a bad person. I know it's hard for you to believe, but when you see the reality, when you know it, and you feel it, and you've seen it for so many years, because when you're swimming in it and you're partaking in it and you're playing their fucking game, you're in a suspended animation mentally. And you think it is the best thing going on in the world right now. Yeah. Later.